Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Craft Inspiration for this week. I'm really inspired by crafting, obviously paper, scrapbooking, but in particular this flower. I thought it was the cutest thing. It pops up, it's not very thick, but about 2 inches wide. I think you can make it smaller if anything. And here is an example on a card. So again, really cute, gives it some dimension as you can see, and you can do different things. You can do a button, you can do gems, you can do just paper like I've done here so it won't stick out too much. So that's my inspiration for this week, so I thought I'd do a video on how to make it, and I'll show you how to make it. So what you would need is basically a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I have some scratch paper here that I've obviously used, but it works really great with the 12. So 12, and you're going to cut it by 1 inch, and I'll show you. You're going to need a cutting mat. You're going to need some kind of punch hole, hole puncher, sorry, or anything to hold down the paper. Glue it together, or a glue dot or something. But I'm going to show you how to do it with paper. Also, you need some kind of adhesive. I'm using just regular glue. You can use glue dots. Anything that works. Play around. I know cardstock, you'll need a little bit more glue, something really hold stronger. For regular, just plain paper, this works pretty good. You just have to hold down for a few minutes. And another thing you would need is a scoring board. Really recommend it. I really like the Martha Stewart one. Oops, sorry. Martha Stewart scoring board. Love it. Totally recommend it. It has every like 1/8 of an inch or something grid. It's great. It's perfect for this project. So let's get started. So I'm going to take my 12 by 12 sheet of paper and cut it down to 1 inch. Just like so. And this totally matters, like just like that. There it is. I've done shorter. I'll show you in a little bit by 1 by 6.5. It worked just fine. It was a bit different, but 12 works really great. You can do shorter too if anything. So. And then you have to score it every quarter. Just all the way down to the end, score it. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to score it, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm almost done scoring, just finishing up a few lines. I'm not pressing too hard, but again, every 1/4 inch. And it just curls up a bit. Again, cardstock won't do that, but cardstock you have to press a little harder so it gets indented. And then if you're using regular paper, you'd be really careful about scoring it so it doesn't rip, because I got a few spots that look like they're ripped. But just finishing up here. Ooh, can't see what I'm doing. This is what it will kind of look like. Has an indentation on the back too. I think I ripped mine. Oh boy. Okay, that's okay. If anything, I'll tear that off. But then what you do is fold it as an accordion. So you just take it, fold the first one in, the other one back. Now I'm just going to rip this off. Sorry, folks. But you basically in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Man, I think I scored mine a little too hard there. Alright. I ended up redoing mine just because I indented it so hard that some of them ripped. Some of the slots here. Let's see. We're going to find a good one. I'm afraid they were just going to tear, so I didn't feel too comfortable. So I ended up redoing it. And this is the 12 by 1 again. And so when you, again, glue it, when you come to the two ends, they're not the right way connected. As you can see, it's kind of awkward to glue them down. So what you would do is just cut one of the ends off, and then it'll be equal. So I'll show you what I mean. So like that, you can't really glue it down. It would be weird just to be one little slot like that. So what I need is cut that off. So I got some scissors out here and just cut right along the line here. And now, when I put it together, it's kind of like crosses each other over, if you can see that right there. And what I do is need to glue that down together. So just a little bit of glue on one of my sides, and I have to press it down and let it just kind of chill out, you know, let it stick together. So press that down on top of each other. Sorry, I can't see that there. And there we go. sure they're lined up. Press down. Kind of put it back into the accordion style. Just press it down so it kind of sticks together. You can put a little paper clip or something on it so it holds and dries. So while we're waiting on that, oh, I have a little paper clip. I know this is huge, but I'm just gonna let it dry for a second. While we're waiting on that, I'm gonna punch a few holes. From that same paper, you can use a different paper. You can use something sturdier like cardstock, which you probably will for the back at least. And let's see, I got some scrap paper out here. This is just paper craft cardstock. I'm gonna punch a hole real quick. And I'm gonna do that for the back of the card, the flower, just so it'll be a little sturdier and stays more better. And for the front, I think I'll just punch out one of these holes here. Kind of looks prettier, neater, cleaner. Alright, there's that. Let's check up on our flower here, or soon to be. So again, for cardstock, you want to wait a little longer. Maybe use stronger adhesive. But for regular paper, it takes a few seconds and it'll be fine and you can work with it right away. This is kind of the tricky part, is to get it into that flat flower shape. So the best way I do it is I pinch the tops. As you can see, I pinch the tops, but then I let the sides kind of curl out and I push down. It kind of takes a few minutes. And there we go, and it flattens it out. Oops. Of course it pops back out, and you gotta press the outsides. If it's cardstock, it'll be really stubborn. It'll be just like this. You pinch it in. What I do is pinch in the side or the top, and then I take my back fingers and I pull it out, lean it against the table, and then spread it out if it's harder or being stubborn on you. So we're almost done with our flower. This is what it will look like in the back. So of course it's springy as it is, and it won't stay just like that. So what I do, I take my somewhat harder cardstock, put some glue on it, and I just set it down. But I pinch this together. Sorry, you want to see that. And I hold it around as much as I can, press it in, and I put a little bit of glue on the inside too, so it kind of stays all together. And it can adhere to the paper too, if the little circle here. So I take that, press it in, and now the waiting begins, unfortunately. So now you want to let it sit for a second, hold it down. You can try putting something, stronger in on top of it, like maybe this glue or something. But I kind of like to wait it out and hold in the ends of the flowers so it stays put in and not, springing out from all sides. So, I just wait it out, blow on it. And let's see if I can flip it over. It's coming apart. So yeah, you just want to let it sit for a bit. If you can flip it over, that's great. I'm holding it down as steady as I can while it's gluing down. And I'm just going to do the same thing to the front of it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down. You can do a glue dot too, whatever's easier. I have small glue dots, so mine didn't really work, unfortunately, very well. Same with the top. Oh, didn't want that to happen. So yeah. It's springy, so obviously it'll come out, and you just gotta keep holding it. I'm gonna put my top there real quick, and I'm just gonna hold it down until it completely dries. Alright, so it's been drying for a few minutes now, and it's staying pretty good. This is what the back is. You can put obviously a glue dot or some tape, put it down on your project. And that's what the front will look like, and it's not big. It's about 1/4 inch or so, unless you put a button on top, it would be higher. So think about that if you're sending it. And this is super cute. You can do stripes, you can use solid colors, you can do there's so many options. Just play around with it, see how you feel with it, and it just takes a little bit of practice. So remember, 1/4 inch, but on a 12 12 by 1 inch paper. I've tried a few other things, and this is my example. This one right here is 12 by 1 paper, but I scored it at 1/2 inch. Oh, kind of dented in. So it is much thicker compared to this one. As you can see, that's 1/2 inch, that's 1/4 inch. So obviously the bigger the scoring you do, the thicker it will be. This is the exact same one that I did. Kind of just to remind myself that 1 by 12 is the best, and that 1/4 inch scoring. And this right here, my last example, is a 1 by 6.5 inch paper. Again, I scored it at 1/4 inch, but when I flattened it out, it kind of gives this almost a flattened look, so it's not as thick as the other ones. You can kind of see that there. But I've tried it with cardstock, and my corners here, when they split like that or dented out, it kind of ripped. So again, play around with it, see how you feel. Again, this is 6.5 by 1 inch, and I scored it at 1/4 also. Again, it's just regular paper. You can play around with it on computer paper, see how you feel. Try it again with cardstock. It has a little bit, it's a little fussier, I guess you can say, because it is harder to play with. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm glad you guys joined me on my Tuesday craft inspiration. Join me at my blog at Random Yevchik, and thanks for watching, guys.